Hey everybody, excited to join you, or you join me, whatever's happening here, reading through the book of Psalm. Today we're going to be reading through chapters 8 and chapters 9. I'm reading from the NLT. You might have a different version, but I want to encourage you as we're reading through this, again, underline some stuff, highlight some stuff so you can go back and meditate on that later. Psalm chapter 8. O Lord, our Lord, your majestic name fills the earth. Your glory is higher than the heavens. You have taught children and infants to tell of your strength, silencing your enemies and all who oppose you. When I look at the night sky and see the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars you set in place, what are mere mortals that you should think about them, human beings that you should care for them? Yet you made them only a little lower than God and crowned them with glory and honor. You gave them charge of everything you made, putting all things under their authority, the flocks and the herds and the wild animals, the birds in the sky, the fish in the sea, and everything that swims the ocean currents. O Lord, our Lord, your majestic name fills the earth. Psalm chapter 9. I will praise you, Lord, with all my heart. I will tell of all the marvelous things you have done. I will be filled with joy because of you. I will sing praises to your name, O Most High. My enemies retreated, they staggered and died when you appeared, for you have judged in my favor. From your throne you have judged with fairness. You have rebuked the nations and destroyed the wicked. You have erased their names forever. The enemy is finished, in endless ruins. The cities you uprooted are now forgotten. But the Lord reigns forever, executing judgment from his throne. He will judge the world with justice and rule the nations with fairness. The Lord is a shelter for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you, for you, O Lord, do not abandon those who search for you. Sing praises to the Lord who reigns in Jerusalem. Tell the world about his unforgettable deeds. For he who avenges murder cares for the helpless. He does not ignore the cries of those who suffer. Lord, have mercy on me. See how my enemies torment me. Snatch me back from the jaws of death. Save me so I can praise you publicly at Jerusalem's gates, so I can rejoice that you have rescued me. The nations have fallen into the pit they dug for others. Their own feet have been caught in the trap they set. The Lord is known for his justice. The wicked are trapped by their own deeds. The wicked will go down to the grave. This is the fate of all the nations who ignore God. But the needy will not be ignored forever. The hopes of the poor will not always be crushed. Arise, O Lord. Do not let mere mortals defy you. Judge the nations. Make them tremble in fear, O Lord. Let the nations know they are merely human. This is really powerful. Again, anytime we're reading the Psalms, David is going to constantly go back to the Lord reigns and the bigness of the Lord. So again, we can be honest about our circumstances, but we have to be confident in our God. And the power of this is David actually talks about his majestic name filling the earth. And I want you to understand a little bit as you read this, the way that David sees this. He starts talking about when I look at the sky, I look at the night sky, I see the work of your fingers, the moon and the stars you set in place. It's important because the majestic name of the Lord is written in creation. This is so powerful because we miss it so many times. And if I'm really honest, I struggle with this sometimes too, because we can get so wrapped up in our world of just our immediate lives that we forget when we walk outside, we're walking into the tabernacle of God. When you walk outside, the sky is his canopy. It's his name declared. It's the greatness of God declared in a leaf. It's the greatness of God declared in oxygen and in the breath. And it's hard sometimes because we might talk about God, where are you? But the truth is you don't see oxygen, but you don't say, oxygen, where are you? The only time that you say, oxygen, where are you, is in its true absence. And when it's absent, you can't breathe. And in the absence of God, you can't breathe. you can't see. You can't have anything because God's name is written in the majestic nature that surrounds you. It's written in the majestic sky above you. And I want you to remember, when you walk outside of your house, you just walked into His. His canopy fills the sky. His tabernacle fills the earth. And I want to remind you today, as you journey through life, it's important for you to have constant resets on the bigness and greatness of God and the smallness, how small some of our problems truly are. We stop looking at Him as a provider. We stop looking at Him as this majestic God who actually holds the entire earth and everything in it in His hands. And we start to question everything, even in of ourselves, and start to become negative in our conversations. And we start speaking out things that actually are not necessarily our true enemy. We actually become the enemy because we stop seeing the majestic side of God. And David constantly brings it back, and he starts to say things like this: when I see the majestic nature and your name written in the sky and your name written in creation, I start to think like, who are we that you are even mindful of us? Like, what am I talking about here? But the truth is, in these situations, we become so mindful of ourselves and we are no longer mindful of the bigness of God. And it ends up coming out of our mouth, and we become so big and He becomes so small. And I don't ever want to stand so tall before God that everything else in my life has become so big and He has become so small. So I need to walk outside and I need to remember, you are big, you are great, you are majestic. And every single situation in my life starts to bow before you because He is mindful of man. And that's the beauty of it, is His name is actually written in your nature. It's actually written in your DNA. The vibrations of heaven actually reverberate through your body. The symphony of heaven gets to play through you, and now you get to decide which direction I let that symphony play for, because He is majestic, and He wants that majestic nature to be revealed through you too. So when it says, who are humans that you're mindful of us, it actually says, man, this is so much bigger. I'm so small because I see that now in my own eyes. And then He says, but this is what you do with your people. This is how you treat your people because of how much you love them and care for them. So maybe that stood out to you, maybe something else stood out to you, but again, I want to encourage you to underline it, highlight it, and then maybe even send us a note letting us know, what did you see today as we read chapters 8 and 9 of the book of Psalms?